Hello people, welcome back to the channel. You're obviously here because you have been seeking good branded content, and don't worry, your boy the branded dude is here to fulfill your wish. Today guys, we have a replay. We are going up against Tenpai Fiendsmith, and I think there's Kashtira. Yeah, there is Kashtira as well. So people, let's show how we sent this boy back to the lobby. Here in the rock paper scissors, my opponent lost and I chose to go first. Opening hands, people, you'll see that I opened Phantasme, Sword, Branded Banishment, Opening, and Duplication. Sure, we have Duplication, we have Opening, but you know I can lose very easily to Ash and Imperm with this hand. But anyways, opponent opens the Kashtira Fiendsmith, Ash, Fenrir, Regain, and also the Tenpai Fiendsmith. It's crazy how the decks in this format right now, you have so many engines in one deck. You can put Tenpai, you can put Sky Strikers, you can put Kashtira. Bro, there's like just no way that you can't mix engines, and it's absolutely insane. But anyways, moving on, people. So we go to draw phase. We go opening, discarding Sword because that's a dead card in our hand, and we summon a Luba here. Effect, no Imperm, so we get Brand of Fusion. We go to main phase, activate Brand of Fusion, and my opponent changed the Ash Blossom. So unfortunate, so all we do is set Duplication. We don't set Branded Banishment because obviously I don't know what my opponent is playing. I'm keeping Phantasme in my hand, hoping I can join to something during my opponent's turn. So I'm going to use Branded Banishment to discard when I perform a Fusion summon. So we don't set Banishment, we go straight to end phase and we pass. My opponent opens into Bestial Rebellion. Now my opponent summons Fenrir, so I'm a bit worried I'm going up against Kashtira. He goes Fenrir effect, searching another Fenrir, so that he's basically just playing 3 Fenrirs. He's not playing Unicorn or any other Kashtira engine, I suppose. He then goes Bestial Rebellion, searching Magnum Hut, and then he goes Sangan, what's his thing's name? Sangan Summoning. And now I realize, crap, I'm going up against the brainless going second deck, so I'm a bit worried, so I decide to use Fusion Duplication. So here we send Albaz and Tragedy, going to Rebellion, Chainlink 1 Rebellion. Here I discard the Phantasme because my opponent is definitely not going to be link summoning too much, so Phantasme is just going to be a dead card in my hand. But also, Rebellion can only use materials by shuffling monsters that are in the grave, banished, or on the field, right? So if I want more materials, I have to discard the monster in my hand. So Phantasme is a dragon, a dark dragon, and Albaz is a dark dragon. So here I decided I'm not going for Mergeate, I'm going for Furious, Borrow Load Furious. So that's why I discarded Phantasme, so that I have 2 dark dragons. And obviously Chainlink 2 is Tragedy, so we search a Luba for follow-up. And I fusion away Phantasme and Albaz, and we go straight for Furious. Now here I do make a slight misplay. On res, obviously, opponent's priority to activate anything. He goes Chainlink 1 Fenrir, and then targeting Furious. Then I go Furious, effect as Chainlink 2, but I don't target itself. Instead, I target a Luba and a Fiendsmith. I should have targeted Furious himself so that it doesn't end up getting banished face down, but cool. Anyways, it is what it is. So Furious pops the Fiendsmith, and Furious gets banished face down. Opponent goes Regain, then he activates Magnum, targeting my Luba, I think. Yeah, targeting my Luba. Chainlink 1 Regain, Chainlink 2 Mag. He draws into Ash Blossom. He then links off into Close Moon, and now he starts his Fiendsmith engine. But he's not going to go into Desiree, he's just going for Wave High King Caesar here, which is obviously a good option since we're playing Branded. In the end phase, he adds Jerusalem to his hand, and he passes turn here. So my opponent has 2 special summon negates, Jerusalem, and also right now he has Ash Blossom, and he also has Lacrima in the graveyard. We have a Luba in hand, but unfortunately we need a way to recycle Brand of Fusion, so that is a bit troublesome. We also don't have Albaz in the graveyard, so I don't know how we're going to play through this, but we draw into Fusion deployment, and we go straight to main phase. First I go Tragedy effect, setting Branded Opening. The reason why I did that is that I'm just hoping that maybe since I most probably can't do much plays during this turn, so I set Opening to prep for interruptions or plays I can make during my opponent's turn. So normal summon a Luba is just searching Branded Lost, because remember Caesar can negate activations of anything that special summons, including our spells and traps, so I searched branded lost. I could have searched branded in white for what's the word, like, you know, because I have a dragon and I can perform a fusion summon, but I most probably can only go into Caritas and either masquerade with it. But you know, I don't think that would be a good play, so I had to go search for branded lost because Caesar is an annoying interruption for us to deal with. On res, my opponent does go Lacrima effect, summoning Requiem, then Requiem will summon Lacrima, and Lacrima will dump the trap card. Cool. Anyways, we activate Lost, and we just set branded banishment, sorry. And then here I decided, let me enter battle phase and destroy my own Lubellion so that I have like a target in my graveyard for branded banishment. But obviously I knew my opponent had what's the word, a bestial in his hand. Yeah, bestial in his hand. So you know, I think I was in a losing position here. Branded banishment most probably was never going to resolve. But my opponent draws for turn. He draws into Pydra, normal summons it, activates effect, and I just scoop. Listen, I'm not sitting through that. I'm not winning. So he won game number 1. We go to game number 2 now, people. In game number 2, opening hands, you'll see I opening, red, Archfiends, Mercuria, and branded lost. Archfiends, yes, I did side in D barriers as well, but I kept Archfiend just as a 4th sort of D barrier as well. I don't want to rely just on drawing either one of my D barriers. So this is the 4th one here. My opponent opens the field spell, Druisworm, Pydra, Harpies, and Engraver. Alright, cool. So no Ash Blossom, no Imperm, so we are Gucci. So we go opening, discarding Mercuria. I sort of want to keep these 3 cards in my hand because branding red, good, I can play during my opponent's turn. Summon Archfiend, it is a good card right now, rather keep that. And lost is lost, so we don't want to discard any of those. Here I go Chainlink 1 Aluba, hoping my opponent doesn't have Imperm Availer, and he didn't, so we search Branded Fusion. Then activate Lost and confidently activate Branded Fusion. I'm like, here, if he has Ash, he has Ash, but he didn't, so hallelujah, we are popping off. We're going to Albion, Chainlink 1 Albion, Chainlink 2 Lost. With Lost, I search Albion the Shrouded because I'm still going to go into Lubellion, and then I need a card to discard, so I search Albion. So we banish Albaz and Mercury for Lubellion, sorry. So I meant to say Lubellion previously as well. Chainlink 1 Lubellion, Chainlink 2 Mercuria. Mercuria, here we search Cartesia because remember, this Albion the Shrouded is Albaz in the graveyard. Fusion away into our boss monster Mirror Jade. Yeah, there we go. Tribute Albion for Lubellion. Lubellion plays Regained. Then go Cartesia effect. And then only now do I use Albion the Shrouded. Here I send Branded Sword to the graveyard. That's why we can add the banished Mercuria to hand. So yeah, so Chainlink 1 Lubellion, sending the trap card as cost, and then I just chain the trap card as Chainlink 2. So cool. We then go Cartesia effect, summoning into Grand Gugno. Chainlink 1 Grand Gugno. We dump at Libertum because we have branded in red, so may as well just set up for our Chimera line. So we set red, we set Simon Archfiends, and we go to end phase. End phase Albion effect here. With that, we set branded banishment, just as further interruptions. Also, the reason why I set this up is because in my side deck I am playing Lad, guys. So in game number 2 I sided it in, so branded banishment is just there to give me access for Lad during my opponent's turn. Now we also go Cartesia to add to hand, and we pass turn. Now I don't, my opponent draws into effect Veiler. Luckily he drew that only now and not in his opening hand. The thing is, now even though I'm playing Lad, I do not rush into bringing out Lad, because in case my opponent maybe has Droplet or Imperm or something like that. So I decide, you know, let's him activate a few cards here and there. But he goes to main phase and he activates Harpies, and I'm like, you know, I figured that he might have a board breaker or something, even Harpies. I even considered maybe he has Harpies, and I said, you know what, it is totally fine. It's absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that. Let him use it. I don't want to waste Lad's effect on a board breaker like Harpies. So that's fine. So on activation of Harpies, we go Chainlink 2, Simul Archfiend. We go Chainlink 3, Branded Banishment, and we go Chainlink 4, Branded Red. Now the reason why I did this is because, remember guys, Archfiend says that neither player can special summon monsters with the same card types as they already control. So if I went Chainlink 1 Red, Chainlink 2 Branded Banishment, you know, the first I went with the effects to fusion, then I went Chainlink 3 Simul Archfiends, I'm screwing myself over because then I cannot perform a fusion summon whatsoever. So that's why we go Chainlink 1 Simul Archfiend here. So We go brand new red, adding Adlib, but I don't perform a fusion summon here. I just add it to hand because why waste brand new red to give you a card to hand. But with brand new banishment, I do summon Albion, and then I banish Albion and Lubellion to bring out Lad. All my back row gets destroyed, which is fine. So we still have Mirajay to banish. We basically now have 3 Omni negates, Grand Gugno as an interruption, and Mercuria as well. Opponent activates a field spell, mandatory chaining 2, Lad, negating the activation, so the field spell doesn't resolve and it gets sent to the graveyard. Don't worry, my opponent will do that soon. My opponent does go chain link 3 Jerusalem, targeting my Luba. So yeah, Lad cannot negate that. Then my opponent summons into Typhon. So now I feel assured that now he's not going to be summoning any other monsters at all. So cool. Typhon here uses effect to bounce, but remember guys, Typhon negates monsters with 3000 more attack, right? Not Typhon, Lad right now is only at 2400 attack because it used its first effect to negate on the field spell. So Lad can activate its negate effect right now at this moment. So on chainlink 1 Typhon to bounce, I go chainlink 2 mandatory effect, Lad negating that activation, and my opponent scoops because 1, he's not going to be able to special summon any other monsters, and I mean it's going to be OTK next turn when it comes back to me. So we take game number 2 and we go to game number 3, the ultimate decider here. Opening hands, we have Tragedy, Archfiends, Brandon White, Brandon Lost, and Allure of Darkness. Now you may be wondering, I'm going second, well actually here I was going second, but why is this in my hand? In game number 3 guys, I wasn't sure if I was going to go first or if I was going to go second. Obviously maybe my opponent chose to go first because 1, maybe he wants to lock me, you know, through D-Barrier or something, whatever the case is, but also because he knows I'm playing like D-Barrier and also right now some Archfiends, he most probably doesn't want to get locked either again, so he'd rather lock me. Then hopefully he can go full game in the next turn when it goes back to him. So yeah, that's why in this game my opponent is going first in game number 3. But I kept Simon Archfiends here because 1, I wasn't sure if I was going first. And you know, I was like, you know, if you do survive, may as well keep like D-Bear and Simon Archfiends to slow down your opponent even further. You know, in case you can't bounce back immediately. Opponent opens Thrust, Engraver, Field Spell, Terraforming, my bad, Nibiru, and another Thrust. So yeah. My opponent starts with Engraver, so yeah, you know where this is going to go guys, tracked. He is going to summon Lurry. Lurry summoned in Requiem. Requiem brings out Lacrima. Lacrima will dump Engraver, Requiem equip, and then Necroquip, and then Engraver. Summon itself. Here's going to go for Wave High King Caesar. Then he goes for the field spell, searching Sang and summoning, adding Genroku effect to summon itself. Then Tributes effect, summon Fadra Reborn, Genroku, and he goes into Seals and he passes turn. So the opponent has Seals, which is a bounce, and also he can summon either he can summon a Tenpai monster or he can summon that other one monster, I don't know. It's some weird name, but basically it's a dragon monster that locks me out of summoning Lights and Darks. So either he could have went for that, but yeah. 2 special summon negates, a bounce, and either summon a Tenpai monster or a lock, and he also has Nibiru, and he also has Lacrima in the graveyard. So that is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, because the trap card can be additionally a 7th interruption. So 7 interruptions we need to deal with. We draw into Albaz, which I think is good for us. So cool. We go to main phase. First we start off with Allure. We draw into Kit and Aluba, and we banish Tragedy. Tragedy effect here will get a search. We search at Libitum of Despia. We normal summon Aluba effect. My opponent chains Lacrima, which is fine. No interruptions to that. We search Brand of Fusion. Now I believe my opponent goes Requiem. Yes, summoning Lacrima, and Lacrima here will finally dump the trap card. Coolio. We then go Branded Lost here. I was just thinking my opponent would do anything, but he waits. Then instead of acting Brand of Fusion, I go Branded in White first. So here I was hoping my opponent would use Seal's effect, but I also was worried what he would bring out of Seal's effect after he tributes it. But I thought he was going to use its effect to bounce, but he doesn't. So I decided, you know what, bro? You're cooked. You're absolutely cooked. So We fusion summon away Aluba and Albaz. We have to use Albaz because Brown and White requires us to use a dragon monster. Go into Libellion, chainlink 1 Libellion, discarding Adlib, chainlink 2 Lost, searching Mercury so that we have a negate. Then we fusion away into Mirror Jade, and on summon I go Mirror Jade effect, banishing Seal. So now we don't need to worry about seals. We send Albion, great. Now continuing forward, we go Brand of Fusion. So if he had Ash, we would negate Ash with Mercuria, and also Caesar can't negate Brand Fusion because we have Brand of Lost set up. So my opponent is pretty much cooked here. So we send Albaz and Libellion into Albion. We got Albion effect, and the reason why you may be thinking, wait, bro, you already have an Albion in graveyard, what are you doing? No, we're going into Furious Dragon. On summon, Furious, target my Albion and Field Spell, pop those two. So now we don't need to worry about the Field Spell whatsoever. So we enter battle phase, we get rid of Caesar, and we attack Lacrima. So our opponent has a cleared board. We set Simul Archfiend and we proceed to end phase. My opponent attempts to use Nibiru. Here I was contemplating whether I should let it go or not. I decided, no, let me not let it go. Listen, Barolo Furious is a good card against Tenpai. Sure, with Albion I could have said Branded Banishment, but I decided let me keep the bodies on my field instead. And we negate Nib with Mercuria. Here, yeah, we just negate Nib with Mercuria. So we don't lose our monsters, that's fine. Also the issue is, the reason why I wanted to keep my monster on field is Furious needs to target a card monster I control for its pop effect, and I don't want to target Furious himself. I'd rather just pop Mirror Jade and keep Furious on the field. Alright, we go to end phase. End phase Albion effect here is going to set Branded in red. The reason why we set Branded red, guys, because we have Adlib in the graveyard. So we have Chimera line. And also we can reborn Mirror Jade for its banish effect. Opponent draws into another Nibiru, which is unfortunate for him. Goes to main phase, he used Engraver effect, summon. Here I don't think I do anything. Yeah, it's fine. I let it. Okay, no. I then go Furious effect, popping itself and what's his name? Engraver. My opponent then goes Thrust, searching Talents. Talents draw into 2. Here he draws into Chandra and Judas Worm. So yeah, that is crazy. My opponent then summons Chandra and enters battle phase, which is fine, but at the start of battle I go I go Branded in red, targeting Adlib. My opponent does go Jerusalem, and we chain Simul Archfiend. So cool, even if my opponent can Synchro Summon, he basically cannot do his whole Tenpai Synchro OTK nonsense against us. So that's fine. Opponent goes to end of battle, he goes into Typhon, using Jerusalem. Typhon effect, bouncing our Mirror Jade. And then we go to end phase and we draw. Unfortunately we don't have any end phase effect, but it's fine. We do draw into Albaz. So here I was really hopeful. The only issue was, or thing I was worried about, is that my opponent had Effect Veiler or Ghost Ogre. Anyways, we normal summon Albaz, hoping that this resolves, and it does. So we fusion away Typhon, and we use Chainlink on summon Chainlink 1 Lost and Chainlink to Mirror Jade, banishing his Chandra. So 1, his field spell is gone, and Chandra, which is limited to 1 as well, is gone. So he cannot summon any Tenpai monsters from his deck whatsoever for the rest of this duel, basically. With Mirror Jade we send Rinbrim, because I assume that I will be able to fusion summon into... Okay, no, one of my Albions are banished. So we just send Rinbrim just as 1, because both Albions are gone, and also I think Titaniclad gone? No, it's not. So yeah, I guess we just decide to send Rinbrim so that we have interruption for our opponent's turn. Anyways, with Lost we search Albion. We then go Albion, sending Retribution, I believe. Yeah, because we can access Brand of Fusion. We join to Mag, which is good. We go Retribution, adding Brand of Fusion. I then go Brand of Fusion. Here I accidentally chain Mag, but I forgot that since my opponent doesn't control a monster, it's not a quick effect. So anyways, that's fine. We go send Albaz and we send Tragedy, going to Libellion. Chainlink 1 Libellion, Chainlink 2 Tragedy. I think we do go Chainlink 2 Tragedy, searching Aluba, and then we fusion away Libellion and Adlib to go into Masquerade, because I'm going to do a lot of damage to my opponent, so let's put him under pressure. We didn't normal summon. No, we don't normal summon. We didn't. Oh yeah, the reason why I don't normal summon Aluba, guys. This Masquerade is our 4th summon this turn, and my opponent still had the 1 Nibiru in his hand. So yeah, we just end a battle phase, attack for 5,500. So my opponent is at 2,300 life points, and then off Masquerade, he basically can only activate 3 effects. He only has 3 effects he can activate. We go to main phase 2. We don't summon Aluba because we don't want to play ourselves into Nibiru, and we pass turn. So right now we have just Masquerade banished here basically. So here I was a bit stressful, hoping that Masquerade could do something. My opponent draws into set rotation, so he has no place and he scoops. And guys, listen, we managed to beat Tenpai Fiendsmith Kashtira. Boom, we send this man back to the lobby. Luckily we managed to survive this. Sure, I only had Masquerade to burn him for 3 effects, but you know, I know he had 1 Nibiru. I don't know what this card was, so you know, it was a bit stressful for us, sorry, but luckily we scored the win. So guys, this is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do smash the like button and comment, and also do subscribe, guys, and do let me know what you got, if you guys have any thoughts or anything, any misplays you may have picked up, or illegal activations, or even any better plays I could have made. Do let me know in the comments below. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.